What is Agile? The American Heritage Dictionary defines Agile as characterized by quickness, lightness, and ease of movement, mentally quick and alert. This definition identifies some of the best attributes of the Agile methodology. According to the Agile Alliance, Agile methodology is the ability to create and respond to change in order to succeed in an uncertain and turbulent environment, with solutions that evolve through collaboration between self-organizing, cross-functional teams, utilizing the appropriate practices for their context. In other words, Agile is quick to respond to change, is iterative, easily adapts in an uncertain environment with quick collaborative results. Agile was originally a method of creating software. The traditional waterfall method of project management was too cumbersome, inflexible, and demanded excessive documentation. Agile was developed as an alternative in order to fill in the shortcomings of the waterfall method. The core values of Agile software development are made clear in the Agile Manifesto. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Responding to change over following a plan. While there is value in items on the right, we value items on the left more. Why Agile for course design? While Agile was originally created for use in software development, it's been found to be effective in nearly any project development. Agile allows for enhanced creativity, focus on the learner, collaboration, increased productivity, changes, iterations, stakeholder involvement, and flexibility. Tara Denton-Hoegner of the Life Cycle Institute, in her 2000 article, Making Agile Work of Course Development, stated that, all in all, the principles of Agile software development can also be applicable to rapid course design. Three of the most important parallels are definition of progress, simplicity, sustainability, and maintainability. Hoegner goes on in the article to provide evidence using 12 principles of Agile development, the Agile Manifesto, and her own extensive expertise to prove her hypothesis of Agile's compatibility with rapid course development. What does the Agile course development team look like? In a cheat sheet created by developmentthatpays.com, two Agile processes, Scrum and Kanban, are compared side by side. The two processes look similar. However, on closer inspection, you can see quite plainly there are differences. The main difference in this slide, where we compare the course development teams, is the obvious lack of stakeholder participation within the Kanban team. All other contributors are the same: a Scrum Master or a coach, customer, product owner, subject matter expert, and Scrum or development team. The real difference we will see is in the way each manages the work. How does an Agile course development team manage the work? If you'll take a look at your screen, you'll see that on the left side is the Agile Scrum process, and the right side is the Kanban. Number 1, a Scrum team works in sprints that are in 1 to 4 week increments. Number 2, After the time frame for each sprint is decided, preparation is needed, including a sprint planning meeting, which is run by the Scrum Master and includes the product owner, the team, and stakeholders. This is where items from the product backlog are selected and a definition of what done will mean is decided. The product backlog is a prioritized list of everything that will be needed to produce that specific product. A release planning roadmap may be necessary if there's enough work for multiple iterations, along with an estimate of the number of sprints that will be necessary. The product backlog is fed by the requirements of the customer and is maintained by the product owner. The sprint backlog, number 3, contains user stories. These are selected from the product backlog that can be accomplished within one sprint. User stories are simple descriptions of a feature that is needed by the user or customer, written down on a sticky note that gives the type of user, the goal, and why the goal is needed. Number 4. These user stories are then added to the to-do column of the Agile or Scrum board. The Agile or Scrum board has 4 columns with the headings or phrases to do, design, prototype, and done. As user stories are completed in each phase, the sticky note is moved to the appropriate column. Number 5. The user stories facilitate discussion during the daily Scrum. The daily Scrum is where stories are chosen and an account of the previous day's activities and issues are shared by the team. Number 6. When completed according to the product owner's definition of done, the product is presented in a demo to all stakeholders and the product owner. Number 7. A retrospective is done following each sprint. This determines what was successful and what could be improved in order to make each sprint more productive than the last one. And number 8. Finally, completed items are released, and any items that are left over that weren't completed are returned to the product backlog. Now take a look at the right side of your screen, the Kanban process. A Kanban team works in a continuous process instead of iterations and without a daily meeting. Number 1, the Agile coach, product owner, and development team prioritize the product backlog. Number 2, from the product backlog, items are pulled to the build column on the Kanban board. Number 3, each column on the Kanban board has a WIP, or work in progress limit. This assures items move across the columns quickly. Fewer items than the work in progress limit signals to team members that an item from the previous column can be pulled. A daily meeting called a stand-up, number 4, is a short meeting to communicate what each team member has completed the previous day, any issues that need to be resolved, and what that member will be doing that particular day. Number 5. Each item is released for demonstration to stakeholders as soon as it is completed and moved to the done column. Number 6. A retrospective is conducted at the release of an item to determine how the process can be improved. As you can see, there are many differences between the Scrum and the Kanban processes. Scheduling, iteration, tempo, roles and responsibilities, meetings and rituals, and even the board. Tracking progress and flow. A sprint burn-down chart tracks daily the product development effort remaining in a sprint, while a release burn-down chart tracks development efforts remaining for any given period of time. Both charts show when user stories are predicted to be completed. With these two charts, a team can spot trends over time and estimate how much work can be completed within a sprint. Both are a simple way of forecasting when work will be completed. If a company has multiple teams, a scrum of scrums would be helpful to coordinate their efforts. A scrum of scrums is a scrum team comprised of a representative or representatives from each of the teams within a business. According to Saddington, the scrum of scrums works iteratively to deliver value in the form of removing organizational and cross-functional team obstacles, dependencies, and conflicts. Leadership of an Agile team requires servant leadership. In his book, The Agile Pocket Guide, Peter Saddington writes, "The more time you spend on personal Kaizen or self-improvement to help others, the more fulfilling and rewarding your work and life will be." He further gives details about what is required of a servant leader on an Agile team. A servant leader must be encouraging and motivational, always aware and ready to preempt issues. A servant leader must be a mentor and someone who keeps things moving, who is dynamic and energetic, a good communicator, constantly improving, and able to handle conflicts. They are empowering to others, eliminate obstacles, and are honest and transparent. Saddington also recommends team science to ensure that each team has been enabled, equipped, and designed optimally. Team science is based on the premise that team and business culture affect productivity, sustainability, and employee satisfaction. Team science is a tool that optimizes employees by revealing strengths and potential, helps build the right teams for the right projects, encourages recruiting and hiring based on fit, not on resume alone, helps with decision-making and conflict resolution, increases awareness of team dynamics and collaboration styles, focuses on choosing the right leaders who fit, and encourages employee empowerment. All in all, team science is a tool to empower team leaders with an assessment of culture, deficiencies, and opportunities within teams. What is technical debt, and why should I care? Technical debt within an Agile course development team is anything that should have been completed within the development process that was just left undone. According to Saddington, technical debt can have detrimental effects, such as slowing down the process, causing other issues because the technical debt had to be worked around, broken processes, and instability in releases. And finally, uncertainty. SAM, Successive Approximation Model. After determining the Agile method to be superior to the waterfall method for course development, it is also clear that the project approach in coordination with the Agile methodology will have the most effective outcome. Therefore, SAM, or Successive Approximation Model, in most cases would provide the agility for flexible, iterative, and collaborative course development. SAM is an alternative to the traditional linear model, ADDIE, for designing effective learning. The SAM process. Beginning with the preparation phase, information and background is gathered. This sets the basis of the project. The team will cycle through design, prototype, and review. In the iterative development phase, the team cycles through development, implementation, and evaluation. This begins with the design proof, then alpha, then onto beta, and finally rolling out gold. Throughout the process, evaluation and analysis is essential so that any changes are needed, they can be implemented quickly. This would limit going over budget or over the time limit.